Welcome to One in a Miller. This is the One in a Miller podcast. I'm Neosha.
I'm Justin.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're new here, please take the time to subscribe to our channel. Also, ring the notification bell so you can get some more Reddit stories and couples banter if that's what you're into. And if you're coming back to hang with us, thank you guys so much for your support. We really appreciate it.
For sure.
So it's finally starting to feel like fall in Mississippi. We're in the month of October, and October is really special to us because...
God, yes.
Why?
We got married this morning.
October is our anniversary, so I'll throw some pictures up of our wedding here somewhere on the screen. So in true keeping a theme fashion, the next batch of Reddit stories and videos that we do will be wedding and marriage themed. So if you guys are into all of that, be sure, to check back in with us, okay? So today's video is titled, She Did What? And we're talking all about the crazy wives that there are out there. So these stories you'll have to see what these wives are up to. This is, am I the butthole for blowing up at my pregnant wife and putting my foot down after her blow up?
I wonder what she did. Depends on what she did.
All right, well, let's see.
What he did. Somebody did something.
We are renting a 2-bedroom house from an older man. We will call him G for this. I don't know how to really describe G, but older, retired military is the closest. This man has been nothing but kind to us, far more than either one of our parents have been. We live in California, and the average rent in our area is around $2,600 for a 2-bedroom.
Sound about right.
At first, we were a bit skeptical because the house was advertised, but G wanted to meet the tenants personally before anything else. The listing stated $2,500, but was also stated negotiable. We met with G, and I don't know if he liked us or felt sorry because we told him our story, but he offered us the place for $1,600. Any problems we have ever had throughout the 6 years, me and my wife have lived in the house, was fixed within 48 hours. G is the landlord everyone wishes they had. He isn't money hungry, and if rent is a bit late, he understands as long as you keep him informed. We haven't had an issue with him in 6 years. I have asked him why he is renting the house out to us so cheap, and his story broke my heart. He bought the house for his daughter a couple of years before we moved in, but unfortunately, her and her fiance died in a car crash, and he couldn't find the heart to sell it, but also doesn't just want it to stay empty. During COVID, when my wife lost her job and I had to take a pay cut, I called him and told him about the situation. I asked if it was possible for us to perhaps pay a couple hundred less in rent, and then I will pay everything back once COVID stopped. He came over and talked to me and my wife. After 2 hours of talking, he stated that he would forgive half our rent until the whole COVID thing is done and we can just go back to the original contract. I can't describe how happy I was. I thanked him with tears in my eyes. With the $700 saved on rent, we were able to keep our head above water during the crisis. My wife is currently 5 months pregnant. G had some health scares, so we haven't seen him for the last 6 months. He came over the day before yesterday to tell us he is healthy again and will again take up the care responsibilities, so if anything is needed to give him a call. He saw my wife and obviously the belly and asked how far along she was. We told him and he just had the smile from ear to ear and said congratulations. Before he walked off, he said kids are expensive, so as a baby gift from me, let's make the rent at even $1,000 until the baby is born. I have no idea why, but for some reason this set my wife completely off. She started yelling at G, calling him an old man that is looking down on us, that he can take his useless gift and shove it up his butt. She was yelling for like 3 minutes, and every time I tried to stop her, she would just get louder and louder. I don't know what got into my wife, but at the end of her rant, she said, if you really want to gift us something for our baby, you should not let us pay rent at all, you stupid old man. That is what you call a gift. G took everything she said
Oh God.
Yeah. G took everything she said and didn't say a word back. His face just went from happy to completely emotionless.
Yeah.
After my wife was done, he just left. I blew up at my wife and asked her what she was thinking, as G never did anything wrong to us. She just started to cry and refused to talk to me the rest of the night. Every time I brought it up, she would start crying, but I caught on to the crocodile tears and told her to just stop because I want an explanation.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, before I left for work, I told her she better be ready because, ready or not, when I get home, we will talk about what happened and I will not accept her fake tears. I got a text from G telling me we have to talk. He asked me to meet at his house at 5 and I agreed. We met up at the house and he asked to come in. We sat in the living room and he asked if my wife could join us and she did. He didn't ask why, what happened, nothing at all. What he did was lay out what will be happening going forward. He said the gift will no longer be happening and he will expect the full rent at the end of the month, no excuses.
26
He
bangs.
said the rent will stay $1,600
Oh,
unless
okay.
our lease is up for renewal, which is ending at the end of this year. And when the lease is over, we are more than welcome to renew, but he will be charging us market rate for the house.
26
That is more than a
bangs.
$1,000 increase.
Yeah.
I tried to talk to him, but he refused to listen and just walked out of the house. My wife was white as a ghost in on the couch and stammered, "What are we going to do?" because she knows a $1,000 increase in rent would lead us back to living paycheck to paycheck.
Jesus Christ.
My paycheck is enough to cover literally every single bill until my promotion in 14 months. I blew up and told her this is her doing. She asked me to run after G and talk or to call him and try to talk to him, but is refusing to. The only message I got back was please contact me if he has something to do with the house, not for any other personal matters, as
Right.
our relationship will only be strictly landlord and tenant.
G said
That is it.
G said it's above me now.
Literally.
It's above me. I can't hear.
Right.
I can't hear
If it
nothing.
ain't about y'all ain't talking about money. Y'all ain't talking about the money.
G said I can't hear nothing.
My wife is frantically trying to call G and apologize, but he isn't answering her calls. She knows her part-time paycheck might not be enough, and I told her we will need to downsize. She is not happy. I'm not happy with my wife at all, and she is calling me a butthole because I'm mad at her. $1,000 doesn't sound like a lot for some, but for me it is a lot of money.
I don't know who that don't
My
sound like a lot too.
my wife's paycheck would not have even touched for my wife's paycheck would not have been touched for the rent or anything, but now it has to, as I told her she will need to cover the $1,000 if she wants to stay in this house, as I refuse to
That's
take
fair.
up longer hours or more shifts.
Yeah, that's
She
fair.
is devastated because her part time job salary might not be enough and she will have to go back to work full time. The situation sounds rough, I know, but like I said above, I am up for a promotion at work for my manager's job when he retires in 14 months. I'm assured of the job and have it in writing. The increase is enough for my wife to only do part time work, but that will only be in 14 months. And she has to cover the missing $1,000 for the rent as I'm refusing. I don't want to move, but she doesn't. If she doesn't cover the missing $1,000 or can't, we will have to. There are some edits, so we'll talk.
Yeah.
There are some edits. Want me to go
Yeah,
ahead and read
obviously,
them?
yeah, you know, do
All
it.
right, so edit one. I have asked my wife if G has done anything to her or said something to her that caused her reaction to him wanting to give us a gift, and she said in tears, told me no, but can't or won't give me a reason. To me, in my mind, I took what she said at face value, and I believe that she thinks G was looking down on us, as she said when he made the offer. That $500 would have helped monumentally, and my wife knows that. She
Right.
also knows getting a house like we currently have and as good as we have it in the house is not guaranteed because we have read numerous stories on Reddit about
Mm-hmm.
other landlords, and she herself has always expected how lucky we have been.
Right.
Edit number two, I worded it like poo. I'm sorry. In my post, I'm sorry. Our lease is up for renewal, but our lease will basically be canceled and not renewed. We will basically have to reapply for the lease, and the new amount will be market rate.
Yeah.
He said for the fact that we have been good tenants so far, he will give us first option to the house.
Yeah. First right
And the
refusal.
right. And the last edit, I actually forgot how far Reddit can go with things. I know this sounds crazy of me, but I know for sure that G hasn't slept with my wife. and that my wife has never cheated on me. Myself included, I have never met a man more set on morals and principles. He still wears his wedding ring even though his wife has been dead for more than 10 years. When I asked him about a woman or girlfriend in his life, he has said no. His wife is waiting for him and he will not disappoint her.
Oh
Dang,
yeah, for sure.
G.
Yeah, I mean that's the first thing I was kind of wondering, like if something happened, but I
Yeah,
mean if nothing happened, then I don't know. I know some women say like pregnancy hormones, this and that, whatever, but
that seems to
that's a
be
little
above
yeah,
pregnancy
that's
hormones.
a little overboard. Not a little overboard, that's overboard.
Mm-hmm.
Period. And I think like the biggest thing is just two things I thought about. First of all, was one, that's why it's important to choose a right partner.
Correct.
And two, don't trick yourself out your spot,
Right.
because the way I was looking at it was, all right, if y'all been living there for 6 years with 1,000 less on rent, now I will say as a couple, I would have thought
You had some
you have
saved.
something saved
Right.
and been moved on to something better.
Mm-hmm.
But I do understand too, sometimes you can get so comfortable in a spot,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it's working for you,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't move at all. And so this situation, though unfortunate, could be the catalyst that helps you move to the next level.
Right.
If y'all choose to do so together.
Right.
Going off on a good landlord is atrocious.
That's
crazy though.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Is it a divorceable offense? Not
That's
really.
what I was gonna ask. Is it
But
divorceable?
at face value, not really.
But if it's like a multiple,
below the surface,
yeah,
maybe, because a child is expensive, and if we're adding on to the rent, we could potentially not have a place to stay
mm-hmm.
because we paying market value on rent. We now have a landlord who has taken the friendly, I'm not gonna say friendship value, but a friendly approach to us, and now is business only.
That's
Then
rough.
that is a domino effect. That's a
Right.
snowball effect.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you may be working part time, which is great, but that's a luxury you were afforded when our bills and stuff were
Handled.
were able to be handled. So now because of that, like I said, it's a snowball effect, because finances are huge when you're in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and that can make or break a relationship. I don't care how much you love somebody.
Yep.
If the finances ain't together, that's a real
because
strain.
you're right, because of the stress of it all.
Mm-hmm. And then you add a child into that mix,
right,
and that's another expense. And the only thing you can tell me was somebody looking down on you. He may have been,
for
but that's
6
really
years.
not your.
For 6 years,
Yeah.
why didn't this come up in year 2 or 3?
Right.
What has you on this high horse now that you're feeling like this is a handout? It 100% is a handout.
Yeah, it could have been, but I mean, like, that ain't your place in that situation.
Not to blow up at
because
him.
you don't have leverage.
Yeah, take it to your husband.
That's not your place.
Yeah. I definitely agree with everything you said. I think the wife in this situation is something, I don't know. I can't even say like what is going on,
Right.
because she won't talk and discuss it. I think it is a divorceable act if she chooses not to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only place where I'm just like, okay, if you can't tell me what it is or what's going on, then we're gonna have to go our separate ways.
Right.
Because now I'm trying to protect you and be there for
Mm-hmm.
you as best as I can, but now you're not allowing me to. And we have to figure out how to get out of this situation together. And if we can't come to one accord or some understanding, then there's no way we're going to be able to get out of this rut. And so it is unfortunate that they have a child that's coming into the picture. And, who knows, it may have been pregnancy hormones. She may have been maybe, she has a bad relationship with her dad and she felt like he was being like her dad, and now we're lashing out at the wrong person.
Right.
But even still, I just think that people who don't do anything to you deserve like that negative treatment. Yeah. And he said so himself, like G was a stand-up man. Mm-hmm. And I can just picture like an old man saying like, hey, they remind me of me and my wife when we were younger, trying to let me help them out. I don't need the money.
When he said military.
Right. I don't need the money. But because land taxes or whatever, right, let me at least get them to cover this. And that's probably why he was able to cut it, because he doesn't really need it. He's just, covering the expenses of the home.
I don't know why I would tell a partner or vice versa that you can work part-time. And I'm in such a sweet spot. I would at least say if you work full-time for 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
We could take your cash.
Throw it in the savings.
Put it on the house and be straight.
Yeah.
I actually think that your landlord was overly nice.
He was.
Because 6 years, I'm just thinking about a scenario like now. if let's say we were renters, and so and the landlord were like, we'll take, I don't know, 600 off.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm in a new house in a year.
Yeah, that 600 is not going to my stomach or my shoes. That
Like,
600 is going to something that's going to.
That's what I say. Like, I don't. My brain can't comprehend what's the hang up.
Yeah.
And then like even with that,
but like you
was
said,
that a
people
deal
get
y'all
comfortable.
made before y'all got married that she would only work part time? And then the other part of that is, what type of skills do y'all have? Now I know I'm going deeper in what the story was
Yeah,
saying.
you are.
But what type of skills do y'all have? Because 6 years
is a long
and
time
you
to
ain't
get
doing
together.
nothing. Then you talking about, oh, I get a promotion in 14 months. Of what?
Yeah.
And how many months? Okay, you say 14 months. Okay, so if you got a year, which you probably don't have, left on your lease, that means you probably gonna be living in the red for 6 to 8 months before that promotion kick in.
Because it sounds like they don't even have anything. They have zero in savings.
Nothing.
So you have
so
no
you've been
cushion.
playing for 6 years.
And then
even when you get the promotion, we both know from getting raises, it's gonna take you another 2 months to even
build,
feel the effect of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's essentially another year after. I mean, she crazy. I mean, even if they, because from his side of the story, we only get one side.
Right.
We don't know if they might have had an argument before.
Right.
That spawned up. And I'm not giving her,
that's crazy. Even if they had,
you gotta know how to emotionally regulate and who to regulate with.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, that's just insane.
Well, to bring it back to the central point, I think it's very fair of him to tell her, well, since you got us in this mess, you have to now work full time. You working part time was a luxury.
Yeah, that was a good ultimatum.
Was a luxury because we could afford it, and now that we can't, you have to cover the difference.
They probably haven't. Either they've been dealt a bad hand over 6 years, or they probably really haven't taken their finances as a couple seriously in that time. Because even before we got married, we talked about finances. We talking about them now, and we always calculated what we could do as a couple. So what kind of power and leverage do we have as a couple versus individuals? And that's how we've always done it. Yeah. That way we kind of know what we can and can't do and where we at in the world.
That is a good piece of advice for anyone that is planning to get married, you're engaged, your wedding's right around the corner. Sit down and talk about finances. It is very, 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 very important. Our story is a little bit different when it comes to money and all that, and maybe we'll share it at some other point. But talking about money is very, very, very important. And figure out a plan that works for y'all. Our plan may not work for you, and your plan may not work for us. But if it works, it's functional and it's legal. Right. That's all that matters, okay?
Because we took a roller coaster. We went from boop, and I mean, I'm being real. 1 year us together was one person. So I'm not gonna.
Y'all been on a roller coaster by one.
I'm not gonna give you no advice because I'm gonna say 1 year, probably 2 years.
Jesus.
You about to say 2 years?
But the whole clinch.
It was year and a half. It was probably the equivalent of one person.
Yeah, it was. We'll talk about it another time. We can go into detail at another time. All right, but here's some comments. Not the butthole to you. Your wife just shot your family in the foot, and then the OP said, I did tell her that all the plans made blew everything up in smoke because she felt slighted for some reason. That's how I see it currently.
I'm just bugging on. Why did you feel that way?
I don't know. One more comment. Your wife needs to stop blaming you. This is 100% her fault, and she should be thankful he didn't give you guys 60 days notice to get out. Not the butthole for blowing up on her. Her reaction was rude, ungrateful, and she's a butthole for it. She learned the meaning of consequences to her actions.
Because I know that man taking a loss on rent.
A loss.
I was talking about like a huge one. Like most people wouldn't budge on a $200.
No.
That man said, I'll chop off
$1,000 and then
I'm going to chop another $5.
Yeah, no.
In Cali?
That's
$1,000 in Cali
that's
is crazy.
So ungrateful.
That's better than, we in Mississippi. That's better than here. You insane.
Yeah, that was really ungrateful. Hopefully y'all got that worked out.
Back. That's divorceable off top. I was trying to be
I don't know why you didn't say that off top,
but that's
we definitely have to have a serious conversation. That's why I said like it's not really like the financial part of it that makes it divorceable. It's the lack of communication that makes it divorceable. Because if we can't communicate through this, how are we ever going to communicate when our child is born? She's 5 months pregnant.
And one thing that bugged me is a problem and no solution.
Yeah.
Because you ain't finna bust no problem and I ain't got
Let me tell you,
no solution.
that was something we really had to work on when we got together because I always want to tippy toe. I could go to sleep just like
Yeah, don't get me
Put it
wrong.
on live for $1,000.
Put it on live. I give you $1,000. I give you $1,000.
All right, next story.
All right.
Am I the butthole for refusing to do anything around the house because my wife insisted on staying home with our child?
Oh, that's all. You ain't got to read nothing else. Absolutely not. Because you ain't, we all got a job. You're not doing yours. So that is what it is.
All right. I, 28 male, have been with my wife, 27 female,
Oh, that's in their 20s. I know this is going to blow up.
for 4 years.
I know that off top. Why is it 2020? Oh, yeah.
They're late
powder
20s.
keg. Pooh!
All right, so I, 28 male, have been with my wife, 27 female, for 4 years, married for 1. I'm an electrician and she is an accountant. I make about $60K a year and she makes about $55K. 7 months ago, we had our first child. My wife was supposed to go back to work 2 months ago. She took the maximum maternity leave her company allows, 6 months, which she started 1 month before labor.
Yeah.
Dog. When it was time to resume work, my wife told me that she would feel guilt and sadness if we put our child in daycare. Therefore, she wants to stay home.
Hold on. When they hit you with that,
I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it.
I know. I heard that before. When they do that, my ears perk up. My ears perk up like a Great Dane. And I was like, I've been bamboozled. It's over with.
It happened so quick too. You don't even see it coming.
It's over with.
All right. So she said he said when it was time.
Guilty. I heard it.
When it was time to resume work, my wife told me that she would feel guilt and sadness if we put our child in daycare. Therefore, she wants to stay home with him. I suggested therapy, but she is very persistent and says nothing a therapist would say would change her feelings. At this point, it seemed like I had no choice, so I started calculating how much I would have to work to compensate her income. I usually work 45 hours a week, and without her income, it would have to be at least 65 to 70, 10 hour, 60 to 70, 10-hour days every day of the week. I told my wife how grueling it would be, and she tried convincing me by saying I must sacrifice for our child, and she would do all the child care and housework, and I wouldn't have to do anything around the house.
I must.
Even without any housework, it is still very extreme, but I reluctantly agreed because I felt like I had no choice.
Cool.
So it happened. My wife resigned from her job. Company policy, if you don't come back, you get replaced. And I picked up the extra hours. My day starts by going to the gym at 5. It is the only thing keeping me sane. And then I would work from 7 to 5 and get home at 5:30. Absolutely spent, and I just want to take a shower and rest. During the first month or so, my wife kept her word and took care of all the housework. But then she started expecting me to help her around the house. But I would remind her of our agreement, and she would look annoyed but move on and do it herself. 2 days ago, she told me that she is tired and wants me to make dinner, and I flat out refused and told her she is breaking her promise, and I made it very clear that she shouldn't expect anything from me when it comes to housework. She looked furious, but she got up and made dinner, and since then, she has been giving me the silence treatment. I'm full of anger and resentment now. At first, she got me taking 24 hours a week, and now she is breaking her promise and trying to manipulate me by giving me the silent treatment. I am losing my mind. Am I the butthole?
And I'll never make a promise that I can keep. That's what the song say.
That's what it say.
First step, no, you are not. 115 a year between the two of y'all down to you probably hitting 70 is quite the chunk.
I mean, that is a big
chunk. We
chunk.
can't see Mickey for no 70 grand.
You can't do anything extra. And I bet your child,
Goo and the Gaga, will much rather have a trip to Disney
than his mama
a long stare
with his mama
into the night. Bro, it's not your fault because there are certain people who do things like this. That's like being serious. There are certain people that do stuff like that, and I get both sides of the coin because I do get mothers, the hormones. I was being funny but serious when I said the oxytocin. Connecting, bonding with their child is important. If you have the ability, this is where if you're financially independent and you have the ability to do so, it's great. But if you don't, you just not afforded the opportunity. Right. It's great to spend the time, things like that. But I think partner consideration is what's missing in this equation.
Mm-hmm.
From a person been there, done that, I've worked 60 hours a week. And yeah, you can do it for a little while, but the body, even in the 20s, and that's when I done it, can only go so long.
As an electrician too, that's a lot of bending and
getting
stuff
shocked.
on the
we
body.
Be watching a video.
Says I like bacon.
I be watching a video, dude with squares on that ladder.
Butthole.
Just shaking. He is getting fried. Oh God, that is not the point. But anyway, I just don't see how you go from, unless y'all both have agreed to eat PB&J and look at the baby, you go from 115 to 60. That's a lot of, like, people, for y'all that's younger, you may not understand. I'm not trying to talk like, because some older people watching this know a lot more than me.
Mm-hmm.
But that is quite a lifestyle change.
It is a big 100.
That's 40. Like, what's that? 40 grand?
$100,000 to have, because we have been there.
Yeah.
And I think because we're talking from experience, you know, I've hit on like our finances. Our financial situation was very similar to that. And without a child, it was hard.
Right.
And, you know,
have you ever looked at the box that said Kellogg's Frosted Flakes?
He did an infomercial. I was talking.
It just like flakes, a little frost.
We went from getting Reese's peanut butter. Come on, somebody. Listen.
Y'all don't understand.
Going back
this is a touchy subject to me. Because when your tissue is working in your hand, because that is not angel sauce.
Oh, God.
It's my fault.
Okay, so going back to the story at hand, that significant chunk, that change in lifestyle, I don't think people really understand what it looks like until you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to tell you, if you're accustomed from having two incomes to now going to one income, unless they are a millionaire, you are going to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And so in a situation like this, I wish the man, the OP, had a bigger backbone. Because saying, I feel like I had no choice. Yeah, you do. You absolutely have a choice.
Right.
You put your foot down and you say, that's not going to work. We can't do it. Or you offer options. Hey, can you at least work part-time? Hey, can you work PRN? Whatever the situation.
In.
To offset
the baby.
Because where she's getting enough, spending all this time with the baby, well, now you're not getting that. You're not getting any time with him because you're saying you're getting home at 5:30. You eat and you go to sleep. So where is your bonding time with the child? You don't have any now because you're exhausted, rightfully so. And then also, too, she's not thinking about like, at some point I am going to need a break. I am going to get burned out. I am going to get tired. So where y'all were both bringing in money and sharing the load. Well,
and
now,
energy.
Right, that too.
Yeah.
Well, now he gets all of the load outside of the house, and you're getting all the load inside the house.
Right.
And y'all are about to have problems. Like I'm not wishing it on you, and I'm not Nostradamus. I don't see into the future, but this is just problems waiting to happen. And if y'all don't get a grip on it now, then divorce is in the future. And I'm not a proponent of divorce. I'm not an advocate for divorce, but y'all have to really come to the table and you have to be honest with her and say, hey, look, this is wearing me out. I'm tired, I'm wore out, and my body cannot take it. And if she loves you and she cares about you in any capacity, she will hear what you're saying and agree. But for you to just be okay with her just not working at all, I got to side eye you a little bit, OP. Because me, I'm saying, nah.
But you got to.
You're going to have to. Let me contradict myself a little bit too.
Right.
Because back when we had our thing, I agreed. I said, okay, yeah, you can walk off your job. I can take the financial load. Would I do that ever again? Heck no. Because we've been there, we've done that. At this point, like if there was ever a situation in switching in finances, my thing is like, we have to bring in something. It doesn't have to be what you're bringing in now.
I did bring in something,
but it has to be.
Like I ain't bringing
it has to. I need at least like half of what you were bringing in to make sure that
because I want to hear this.
I like it. But I mean, I'm just being serious.
I brought some in.
I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying, don't put it in me.
I brought it in.
I'm not saying you didn't.
It might have not been immediate.
I'm just saying.
But when I had it,
I'm contradicting myself a little bit because I can understand he probably didn't think, like I didn't think it would be as hard as it was.
No, but
that's why you have to say like, oh no, like you need to bring in something.
Yeah, but you got to think about this, and I'm not defending myself, but you got to think about it like this: bringing something versus zero.
Yeah,
zero is always go. We learned this in the first time we did our time table was in 3rd grade. 0 always equals 0.
Mm-hmm. You have to get, like you said, you have to cut out the extra expenses. Are we paying for cable and internet? Do we still need
Netflix,
right?
everything.
Do we right? We even we cut off our streaming services.
Yeah.
Back way back when.
That's not a teammate.
No,
You don't have. You
That's
have
why I said
you.
she doesn't care. It
And 2
doesn't seem
kids.
like she cares about his what. It just doesn't seem like she cares about. I don't want to say it doesn't seem like she cares. She is ignoring his overall well-being, and or she doesn't
I don't
understand.
think she
She's
cares.
thinking about, like, she's being very selfish right now and
Yeah.
saying like, well, I want to stay home with the baby, I want to be with the
True.
baby, instead of saying, okay, I do want to stay home with the baby, but what does that look like for my husband?
Well, let me ask you
and what
this.
does he have, and what will he have to do? Because I would feel terrible if I saw you working 10, 12-hour days where you once didn't have to, just so I could be at home.
And it's one thing to do that because your partner's sick.
Yes.
It's another thing to do that because they don't want to do nothing.
Right.
But I'm going to ask you this, though, right? Mm-hmm. So this man said, I work out in the morning to keep my sanity. Mm-hmm. He waking up at 5. Mm-hmm. Meaning he probably going to sleep 9. He was going to sleep with the baby, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. You're a woman.
Yeah.
We can clearly put math together. He has no time for a wife, essentially.
No.
Who in their right mind be like, I'm cool with it? Like, I'm not saying right mind, but like as a woman, how would you feel if all the time he got 2 or 3, he got tough time to eat, 2 or 3 hours with a child, which is necessary. I'm not saying it's not. And then sleep. And then do it again the next day.
Because I like my husband. And I have to put that because there's a lot of women out here who do not like their husband. Because I like my husband being you. I want to spend as much time with you as y'all. We be in each other's skin. Like we like each other. We like spending time together. We can sit here and talk and chit chat. Even just like even if Justin's doing like his own thing, like working or whatever, I'm sitting on the couch just hanging out with him, and vice versa. I'll be back in the room and he'll come tiptoe back there, and now he's doing his thing, but we're still in the same vicinity, in the same area. Not saying that we're necessarily interacting with each other, but just being around each other feels good. So I think if you really like your husband and you enjoy being around him, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. Like if you were gone, you see me, I get frustrated now when we're at date night and I know you're working. I'm just like, like, pay attention to me. You know what I'm saying? But it's not something that's like so big that I have to make a big deal about it. But I just couldn't imagine not having time with you.
Yeah, because I
said a whole bunch of nothing, but like just to bring it back and answer your question, I couldn't imagine not having like personal time.
Yeah.
You know, when we got married, one of my non-negotiables was we have to have time together once a week. I'm not budging. I don't care. That is what I require. So one of the comments, can't believe I decided to have a kid and now my wife is asking me to help her sometimes. Unbelievable. That's not what he said. That's not what he's saying. Y'all are misinterpreted. Another comment, these people who have no kids and think daycare is just free or something. I think people are missing the point.
Yeah, but that's why I say, like, going back to it, like, I understand daycare isn't free.
I feel like people aren't understanding.
Maybe, we haven't encountered that problem, so we may be talking from an ignorant standpoint.
$70,000 a year. I don't know what state they're in. Is paying for everything. That means if the washer goes out, he has to pay for it.
Yeah,
that means the formula. That means the diaper. That means the wife's gas. That means the wife's food. That means his gas, his food. The mortgage, if they have one, rent. That means all the food that's coming in. That means the kid gets sick and has to go to the emergency room.
Right.
He is covering everything just so his wife can stay home.
And
I don't think that is fair. I don't think that is right. She, at minimum, should work part-time and at least cover the utilities to give that man some breathing room. Because he's going to literally have a heart attack on the job, stroke out.
And you know,
that's a question to the wife. What do you do? Okay, so right. So that's my question to the wife. What do you do when this man literally works himself to death? Then what happens?
Or walk in the street and let
the people who are commenting and being on her side. What happens when this man works himself to death? I'm not going to stand by and watch you work yourself to death. I mean, if I'm able-bodied and I can help.
But I will say, too, he has a little leverage. I'm not going to put it all on her. He does have leverage in today's time, because it was 9 months ago, that there are not a lot of electricians in the world. So he probably can name his price.
Yeah, true.
Maybe he could take commercial buildings only instead of local.
Or maybe he could start his own business, and now we're making whatever.
I mean, 1 year, maybe 1 year.
Yeah, I would, and that's when you have to like sit and negotiate. Like say, okay, I can make that like we did.
Yeah.
Hey, I can sacrifice this for a year and a half, 2 years, but at that 2 year mark, the baby is gonna have to go to pre-K, and we're gonna have to get some.
Y'all see how women work. I said a year. The bid started at a year and a half, 2.5.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Like when I was talking, them little millions went and ran over there.
Closed mouths don't get fed. You gotta say what you want. I go higher, so we got to make. That's where compromise.
That's where you got tricked. Right there.
Tricked out your spot. All right, y'all. So that's it for today's video. I know we only did 2 stories, but we kind of ran our mouths a little bit longer than I had anticipated.
Yeah,
so this last story that we have here, I'll roll it over and we'll do it at a later date because it is pretty wild, and I do want to know what Justin has to say about it. If you made it this far in the video, please give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And as always, thank you guys so very much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.